Salute, family. This is Real Talk After Dark. A more laxative perspective, as I like to say, where we take it easy. You can let your hair down, you can kick your shoes off, because we're going to talk to you for real.
All right, what's on the agenda? I'm interested. What you want to talk about?
So much to talk about, so little time. But one of the things I've been hearing through the grapevine is some of the hate coming from the Native Americans on some of these social media websites, the $5 Indians, if you will. And these people have been attacking the true indigenous people of Turtle Island. And I think it's time for it to be addressed. Not only that, but maybe in this segment we can differentiate for those who are still confused about the difference between the real indigenous copper-colored people of Turtle Island and the $5 Indians.
It's time to awaken to the truth. That's right. Wake up, everybody.
No more sleeping in bed.
No more sleeping, period. Okay.
No more backwards thinking. Time for
right.
thinking ahead.
That's right. Time for thinking ahead.
So, this ain't no hate video. This ain't no bashing video. But we gonna get into the nitty gritty on why the Native Americans don't like us. And for one, you know what? I think I'll just bring out my list. Is that okay with you?
Okay, but let me say this. To be a native, you can come from anywhere and be a native, but a native cannot be indigenous. It can't be an aborigine. Plain and simple.
Okay, write that one down. A native cannot be indigenous because a native can come from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what I got written down is they have no culture.
No, they don't have any culture.
Because we're the blueprint and we invented everything, and they're nomadic and have to move with the herds and have no time for agriculture or cultivation because they're starving for food, I guess.
They're living a meager existence. I mean,
right.
The government gave them that designation and stuck them way out in no man's land. Basically, the government up to its diversive activities again. It was against the law for us to say that we were Indians, yet a whole group of people came in and they classified them as being Native, but they should know what those Native American Indians are made up of.
Of course, they're usually Asiatic or Mongoloid looking, fake Mexican looking. They don't look like George Lopez no more.
No, they don't.
The Mexicans are looking real different.
Sure.
They don't look like Speedy Gonzalez.
No, that's because of the colonization, the strong influence from Spain. That's why so many of them are so light-skinned too.
Because of the Filipinos coming over there as well as the Spanish.
Right.
That's why they call some of them Hispanic.
That's right. That's why a lot of Filipinos to this day over in the Philippines have historically Spanish names.
Because of Spain. Colonizing them as well.
Exactly. So those native so-called American Indians are made up of other Europeans. They're made up of those Philippine slaves that came over to go to work. They're made up of Chinese. They're made up of quite a few things. They're just not Aborigine.
Those Meso-Americans ain't Aboriginals.
No, they're not Aboriginals at all.
Well, I also wrote in my notes, and you all should write down as well, that they have no inventions. Remember, we invented everything. That's a reason for somebody to hate on you.
That's right.
They can't trace their lineage back by paper or oral history.
No.
They didn't fight for any rights like we did.
No, they sure did.
They didn't fight in any wars like we did. Buffalo Soldiers kicked their asses.
When the Buffalo Soldiers were helping with the expansion out west, because see, so many of those so-called Native American Indians were also living east and living in the south, but they didn't want to go along with what the government was doing. So they decided to pull up stakes and run out west.
They didn't want to pass for white.
No, they couldn't pass for white. They didn't want to pass for white, but they couldn't pass for white, and they couldn't pass actually for Indian, for Lineage. That's the designation that the government gave them, and you see what the government did. The government put them on nomad land reservations. They have no industry, they have no infrastructure, they have nothing but themselves. As you pointed out earlier and in other videos, they follow the herds. Think about that. We never had to follow the herds in that way, because we were in tune, and we are in tune
with the land.
And because this is our land, we know when to plant. We know how to cultivate. We know how to grow something out of sand. They don't. They have no culture. Their cultures were cut off, just like everyone else who comes to America. You have to assume that American identity somewhat in order what they think to exist. We've affected everything. Look how beautiful our people are. They can't dance like us. They can't do anything like us.
True. I'm gonna digress for a minute and go on to this modern times of them reenacting the color purple. Speaking of how beautiful we are, I've been seeing the trailer for the color purple, and they keep putting us back into this time.
Into the slave narrative.
Right. But like you said, with the new reenactments come new narratives.
Right. What did they say in the commercial? It's for a new generation. It's for each new generation, they plant a different indoctrination on them. And what better way than with media? Media is just intertwined in everything right now. So that's the modem that they're using.
And that same token, I've noticed a lot of Native American movies and a lot more Yellowstone and TV shows and all the new cowboys and all these new fake narratives.
See, understand that cowboy was a derogatory term. It was only taken on by those white folks, those Europeans, in the 40s and the 50s with the advent of the cowboy movies and the singing cowboy. Then they began to romanticize, about the cowboy life. We led our lives just the way we did. Because of this lingua franca, it's hard to find words to say certain things, but we had our own Western style. We had our own style, period. They only mimicked it. They only imitated. That's all. They were big imitators. Just like in those old cowboy movies, the Indians that people saw were mostly Italians, were mostly Italians, and people who were not native to this land. Indigenous.
Because native can be anybody.
Well, see, they were fake, and I was thinking, native, they were fake too. They were the Native American Indians,
exactly.
in the true sense.
Yes.
Okay, they were.
Yes.
But they're mad at us, and it doesn't matter. They're trolls. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of our people. Those Pan-Africanists are mad at us. Because we've blown that apart. The people who want to push that slave narrative, we've debunked that. This is the time of awakening. So we're awakening our family, our people, to the truth. And these should be real conversations that you have every day. You have to question everything. And that's why we have this conversation, because we question everything. And then on top of that, we don't let anyone tell us anything. we do our own research, you know. You know, we research everything in our lives, whether it's financial, whether it's social, whether it's about our people. We're constantly researching. We're constantly learning. And so you have to keep yourself in that mode. You know, it's a lot of bullshit lies out there. Fake Indians, fake Hindus. There's a lot of fakes out there. You know, that's a part of the system of things. That's a part of the light and the dark. You know, there has to be a balance of both, but they both exist. You know, and that's, I mean, that's why we're educating ourselves.
The balance of the light and the dark.
That's right, the balance.
We got real talk in the light, and we got real talk after dark.
Sure. But see, we've got all these lights on us too, so you're right. It's in the dark, but it's
in the light.
It's well lit.
That's right.
No, but back to those Native Americans. They're unimportant. How can any of our people look to them and think that they're authentic in any kind of way? I mean, real recognizes real. You know, fake is fake. You know, we have to be real. This is the time of awakening. Everyone has eyes.
Sure.
You know, why are they going along or believing something about them that they don't, you know, they can't see? It's like that slave narrative. You know, I mean, The Color Purple was a decent movie. It was, you know. I don't agree with a lot of the narratives that are put across, but as far as putting our people in the forefront, you know, cool.
I can say that about a few TV shows and movies.
Yeah,
yes. I
but
love
you
to
know,
see my people.
it was about triumph and pain and overcoming that pain. Now it's become so commercialized that they've turned it into a musical.
Well, yeah.
Would you watch a musical about King's life? Would you put your life in a musical? Think about it. You know, I mean, real talk. You know, would you want to see your life in musical form? Come on. You know, that Bass Reeves movie that's coming out, using that African guy. You know, they're really ramping up the bullshit now. And what we need to focus in on, I think, is not only identifying with ourselves, but teaching each other how to live longer, how to exist in this system of things, how to build generational wealth. See, those are the things that are priority on my mind. Getting our minds right, reclaiming our greatness, and stop letting other people and this media, this system of things, try to cover it up or paper genocide us all out. If enough of us stand up, if enough of us realize that this is our land and who we are, there's so much empowerment in that. You can change your life. You can manifest your life. You can have the things that you want. We come from the streets. We come from Chi-Town. You know, I'm not proud of any of the things that I did in the past, but looking back, I realized that they were lessons. And they were lessons that brought me here, you know, brought me to getting this message out. You know, we have our business. You know, it's not about that business. You know, it's about the business of knowing who we are. You know, it's about the business of healing our people from this sick slave narrative. You know, it's about empowering our people, showing our people, our family, that they should stop looking outside of themselves to know who they are, to know what they're about, to be able to achieve. It all comes from within. It all comes from within. And we need to be more 10 toes down. We have let so much bullshit fly in our faces and over our heads. And it's time for us to say, stop. That black, that African American never empowered us. It never made anything better. You know what made things better? Us. Us. Even though we were ignorant of some of us of who we were, it was our ancestors. It was that internal engine inside that kept us going. It wasn't any words or phrases like black or African American, you know, black excellence. Why can't you just be excellent anyway? We know that word nigger came from them calling us, it was called, what was it called?
Nigger came from the word niggardly.
Nigger.
And
or
they were saying we were being niggardly because we were being stingy. It means stingy. It's an old English word.
It's an old English word.
And like cowboy, it was romanticized. And now we say it all the time.
That's right. And see, it was also close to what we were calling each other. Need you. Think about it.
Which means, it's a North American term.
That's right.
In particular. And it means allies, my ally.
Right.
Closer than my brother. You closer than me.
That's right.
Close.
What are you saying when you're saying you're my nigga? You're my stingy?
Yeah, I can't trust you.
You know? Just like a lot of you all use the term friend. Tell them what friend means.
Friend came from the word from the Quakers, friend of the church. And it came from the word fiend. Fiend is the opposite of friend.
That's
You
right.
know, you call fiends in the streets if they're a dope fiend or something like that. But back in the day, they call them fiends if you weren't a friend of the church. And you know what they did to fiends? They killed and crucified the fiends.
That's right.
We were all fiends, right? Because we weren't friends of the church. Now you want everybody to be your friend, right? Be a friend of what? You don't even know. You don't even know. You don't even know.
But you know, it's about us empowering ourselves mentally, spiritually, financially. You don't know how important that is. It's so important for us to start businesses for each other. It wouldn't be any high unemployment if we owned more businesses, because we could put our own people to work.
True.
We could put our own people to work. There's something for everyone to do, but not according to the Europeans, not according to the white man. There's only limited places. And even he's putting his people at home now,
Let me explain
working on the
that.
computer.
See, let me explain that white man shit.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the white or the black. There is us and there are foreigners.
Well, you know,
Foreigners.
it's
Let me
another word for
explain.
pale face for me.
Let me explain, because they ain't all pale, baby.
That's true.
The
too.
ones holding you back ain't all pale. Let's not get it twisted. See, that's where we were misguided in the beginning.
All right.
You know, all this black against white, white against black. You know, Jim Crow, stupid shit. When really, it was the foreigners coming up in this motherfucker. It's foreigner supremacy. It's foreigners running the government.
There you go.
Foreigners.
I
With the
agree.
same skin color as you and I.
That's right.
The same hue of complexion as you and I.
But not indigenous to this land.
Because like you say, white folks is loving on us.
That's
They couldn't
true.
even hold up the prejudice gate.
And just like we pointed out to them, showing them in videos, white folks were also the slaves.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it ain't white folks holding
Well, see,
you back.
I'm not making it a white and black issue, because I know that's a designation from the government.
It's foreigners.
It's foreigners, okay.
Foreigners supremacy. The
Okay.
same Indostanes you was talking about back in that other episode.
Oh, yeah.
It's foreigners.
These fake Mexicans.
Uh-huh.
And again, that leads us right back forward to those Native Americans. They are foreigners.
And they spitting the most hate.
That's right.
Meanwhile, you could talk to Mr. White Man, tell him who you are. He got respect for you. He said, you know what? You right. My daddy did know some indigenous people.
You wouldn't
And
do
y'all
that
wasn't
right.
slaves.
That's
and y'all
right.
did come off no boat from Africa.
That's true.
But let you
That's
tell
true.
some other foreigner that.
Mm-hmm.
Some other
You're
foreigner.
right. So what we're saying is that it's the foreign influence that created the prejudice, because those, let's just say some of those settlers that came over here who had to live with us, who lived in our land, took on some of our customs, and we were able to relate. It's this foreign influence now that has everything so fucked up. That foreign influence is what those those Native American Indians are.
Not only that, we laid that on the table. How about this? Since you've been born, when have we worked with China so closely?
Never.
When have we worked with Russia so closely?
No, when I was
foreign influence.
That's right. When I was coming up, anything that came from China was cheap. You know, because they didn't create any of the things.
They are replicators.
Right, they are replicators, exactly.
What are they replicating? The blueprints.
That's right.
The blueprint. The blueprint.
That's right.
It's that foreign influence.
It's the foreign influence. And see, this is what Real Talk After Dark is about, you know. But, you know, out of a certain sense, and like I said, using that lingua franca, I do tend to use that white and black, but it doesn't come down to that, you know. I think that was a very vague description, so I'm going to stop using that white and black. It's the foreign influences, you know, and not enough of us are influencing each other. That's why we've gone for this okey-doke bullshit. That's why we believe other people are Indians and we are not.
Right. That's why we believe these commercials, this illusion of inclusion, all that shit.
Listen, I just want my people to take advantage of the time that we're living in this time of awakening. You know, I want our people to learn how to eat right, to change the paradigm, to question everything, to respond instead of reacting, you know, to keep 10 toes down on the ground. You know, that's what I'm about, you know, questioning everything and being responsible for my own life, yet also feeling a sense of responsibility to our community.
Yes.
You know, we are no longer involved in our community. You know, we've become such consumers. But the people who are giving us what we're consuming are killing us with what they're giving us. You know, they're screwing up our minds.
And then they phrase it as, when you get on, you gotta give back to the community. Give back? How you gonna give back if you ain't got this together?
That's right.
What you gonna give? Something temporary? You gonna pass out toys to the babies? That's cute.
Turkeys in the neighborhood?
They don't even do that no more.
No. Oh.
Well,
Oh.
you know what it is. This has been Real Talk After Dark. I enjoyed this segment.
Yeah, and I just want everyone to know that, you know, you can do it. You can do it. You can have a better life. You can have the life that you want, but you have to live in truth. You have to speak with more intent. You have to understand that these words, you know, are spells. So you have to be particular in what you say. You have to use more intention, more love. You have to use the creativity that you have within in order to become a more sovereign being in this society. Because when we were sovereign, when we were individuals,
solving our own problems.
We were solving our own problems. You know, we were policing ourselves. We were taking care of each other. We don't take care of each other anymore because we don't know who we are. You know, we're going for all this bullshit.
And if you don't know who you are, you won't know who the next man is.
That's right.
Okay.
That's an excellent point. If you don't know yourself, then you won't know the next man. And once you know yourself, then you'll be able to read everything that you can see.
Yeah.
Game recognizes game.
Real recognizes real.
That's right.
And this is Real Talk After Dark. Peace and love.